The language of lies has made us compromise our honor, our trust, to the point our eyes wide open have been shut. Take stock of politicians like Barack that promise habeas corpus with one face, but with two face produces smoke. Because when there's smoke, there's fire, and murdering people by drones without charges or trials makes anyone that simultaneously preaches habeas corpus a liar. And still, these lying politicians the masses worship and admire because of their lust to be close to someone powerful and feared. But don't think the kind of power that is feared doesn't come without tolls charged on your soul and a fee. Because the last time I checked, the spiritually revered never commanded with hellfire missiles, silent guardians, and a black-booted army. So beware of that golden calf, for it comes in many forms, not just the one you see on TV of an iron fist and a gun. The truth of the matter is that the language of lies is not always this corrupt and does not always exist in the realm visible to even those whose eyes are wide open yet shut. You see, the industry has started to use music as a cipher and a tool because the people interested in controlling your minds understand it's much easier to transform a person into a fool that yearns for nothing than it is for the sage to convince the fool he has been turned. Entertainment ain't always fun and games and as tame as you think it to be. If you really study the industry, you'll notice over the years a fading of light into dark and the disappearance of uplifting lyrics like "When he tells you you ain't nothing, don't believe him," and the murder of Tupac. The industry attaches the language of lies to false messengers in disguise. Like Wonder Twins, they activate in the form of sexy sirens and catchy beats. The next thing you know, you'll witness to millions of young girls bobbing their heads down the street, embracing a dangerous language they failed to decipher, singing "I love the way you lie," as these lyrics teach her that low self-esteem is the right choice for her. If you find it hard to believe that music has become a cipher for lies, why have lyrics like "Get up, stand up for your rights" been replaced with "I love the way you lie," mind cemeteries, and youth that embrace a soulless existence they instead should despise? With great misfortune, the language of lies has become omnipresent in our lives. It's just not in music and politics, but the language of lies has tripped critical thought in schools to the back of the line and transformed the wisdom into helplessness cries. Bankers sow their seeds of lies, using as their messenger of fake authority econ professors dressed up sharply in dark suits and ties. They say, any one of you can become a millionaire if you only work hard and apply yourself, when in reality, hard work has very little to do with financial success for most. The very markets they stress are free are just the opposite, always under duress and manipulation, because fractional reserve banking ensures with money there is no equal creation. If modern-day banking were a fair system, why did the richest men on earth meet secretly in a place named Jekyll Island to create this monster of greed and immoral wealth transfer that confers on the Marley bankrupt titles of lords and knights they have never deserved? After all, when was the last time you ever learned that something good, decent, fair, and free was formed under the absolute cover of darkness and secrecy? Modern-day banking gives an unfair advantage to a few thousand over billions by providing freshly created money to the richest first, before it is devalued, so that when money trickles down to the middle class, this money is of less worth. And all for? So they can transform the word middle and middle class into the word poor. If you don't believe modern-day economics is a language of lies, how do you explain a system that professors declare as fair but allows 85 people to grab the same wealth as 3.5 billion that suffer daily in economic misery and despair? So when bankers tell you gold is not money, the real translation is, don't buy gold so there's more for us and for you less. Gold is a form of money for the elite that we don't want you serfs to hold or possess. In kindergarten, They say sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt me. Please don't listen to this rubbish, because that's exactly what they want you to believe. Even though they've infiltrated your native tongues and turned them into towers of Babel, don't let your souls become full of their lies. Keep your spirit of rebellion alive. Clear your mind of all the mental mines they have planted in your psyche, and in the process, knowledge of self will plant its roots, uplift your soul, and reestablish your self-identity. So in this language of politics, music, and education, if the communication you hear does not ring true, answer nature's call to fight or flight with get up stand up for your rights.